Hello, everyone. This is Tribi Chiavello with Primo Magazine, and I'm coming to you today, October 3rd, 2025, from Washington, D.C. And I'm coming to you today news from an Italian American perspective. If you please like and share this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel so we can have more content like this. And, the big news is the President of the United States, Donald Trump. And the question on everyone's mind is, will he or won't he convene a reception for Columbus Day at the White House, in the East Wing of the White House? Will President Trump convene a reception, a gathering of Italian-American leaders inside the White House to celebrate Columbus Day and Italian-American Heritage Month? And so far the answer has been, we don't know. The Italian-American leaders have reached out to the president to continue the tradition that was started 2 years ago with President Biden. President Joe Biden and the First Lady, Jill Biden, convened a reception of Italian-American leaders. It began around 5 o'clock in the afternoon and lasted until 7. It was the day before, it was like the Thursday before Columbus Day, I believe. My memory serves me correct. And she was there, the First Lady, she's Sicilian, and she was there to make a speech. And then the president talked, and it was very nice. And, the question is, will President Trump continue this? I mean, it would be a no-brainer from where I sit. But so far, the answer there's been no answer, so we must assume no at this stage. But, things can turn around pretty quickly. A big mistake if he doesn't convene the Italian-American community in the East Wing of the White House. President Trump, he's been adamant about Columbus Day. He said a few months back maybe, that he was going to bring Columbus Day back from the ashes. His proclamations every year at this time, the White House will make a proclamation. And his proclamations during his first term as president was always pro-Columbus. Columbus Day, he didn't share it with Indigenous Peoples Day. It was all about the heroics, the courage, and the value of Christopher Columbus, and about the Italian-American community. How we can look to Columbus as a model of courage, of innovation, of someone who changed the world, and we should celebrate him, rightly so. And so this proclamation, Trump's view of Columbus Day, was always readily embraced by the Italian-American community. We felt like we had an ally in the White House. Well, when he lost re-election in 2020. In 2021, Joe Biden was president, and his proclamation was, Columbus Day is Indigenous Peoples Day, and this was a disappointment. But the Italian-American community reached out to him, Basil Russo of the Conference of Presidents of Major Italian-American Organizations, and they crafted a new proclamation. So the year next, in 2022, Biden's Columbus Day proclamation was pro-Columbus. However, he also had another proclamation at the same time celebrating Indigenous Peoples Day. So, he did two things at once, basically. And again, the complaints were lodged for that. And what did he do? He and his wife, they decided to have a reception, invite all Italian-American leaders to the White House in the East Room, and there they had, food. They had Italian food available in a buffet style. There were Marines playing a violin. The orchestra there were playing Italian music, and it was very nice. And the First Lady made a wonderful speech. And then later that night, President Biden showed up, to everyone's surprise. And so the next year, this is after, he wasn't going to run for president, that Kamala Harris was going to run in his place. And, he enthusiastically greeted the Italian-American community, made a very nice speech. The proclamations remained as they were, indigenous peoples and Columbus Day. Well, it was hoped that President Trump would continue this tradition, would continue having these sorts of receptions. And it looks like he's not going to do that. And this is very disappointing. It's a no-brainer, I feel, because if you look at the last election, I think probably Trump got maybe upwards of 60% of the vote of Italian Americans. He got that much. And if you look at the politics of it all, you have to say to yourself, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, of course, Florida, Nevada, how important the Italian American turnout was for those states to give those states to Trump. One wonders if the Italian American community didn't vote for Trump as much as I believe they did. Would he have won? Would he have won those states? It might have been a lot closer. So I think it's important for him to return the favor and really solidify this group as his core constituency. If the president is not going to have a reception, well, that's the message he's sending, is that basically our votes are taken for granted. And that shouldn't be the case. We salute the president for his Columbus Day support, for his Columbus Day proclamations, for his defense of the statues as well. He's spoken in favor of that, and this is something that we embrace. But, we want one step, but we also want another step for the president to invite Italian American leaders from all around the country to gather there for Columbus Day would be a serious show on his part if he really wants to make this his core constituency. The Italian Americans aren't going to go anywhere. They're going to support this president all the way. And by not having a reception, by not bringing people together at the White House, I think he risked that. This president was very popular in so many places in other parts of states, even states that he lost. And this is a big year for elections. You've got two elections coming up. One is in New Jersey, Jack Ciattarelli, and you also have an election coming up in New York City, where Zohran Mamdani is ahead in the polls. Eric Adams, the mayor, just recently dropped out. That's given a bit of a boost to the Democratic nominee, who's also run, and not the Democratic nominee, I should say, but it's been given a boost to Andrew Cuomo, and but it's still it looks like at this stage it's Mamdani's race to lose. So the Italian American turnout in New York is going to be very, very important, and more so across the Hudson River in New Jersey, where it's a tight race. The polls are even. Jack Ciattarelli, I think he's ahead, the Republican, but I think Trump really wants to get the governorship of New Jersey in the Republican camp. To do that, he's going to need a serious Italian American turnout. And by inviting everyone at the White House, many of the Italian American leaders live in New Jersey now or are from New Jersey, such as myself. This will help him. I think in New Jersey, this will put the governor over the top, and it will make New York a close race. So the politics is important for the president to, put together a reception at the White House. It's the people's house. So that, I think, is very important for him. So we'll see what happens. We've had the leadership has reached out to him. They even delivered by hand a letter to the president asking him to continue the reception at the White House. There's a lot of things we can do to help make this happen. But we need the president to say, yeah, this is a great idea. I want to do this. I want to make this happen. So we need the President Trump, to come forward and say, yes, this is something I want to do. But so far, that's not happening. So let's hope that the president comes through for us and he has a reception at the White House. If not, I guess you give it another 2 years to see what happens, because the last 2 years of Biden's presidency, he began to have the gathering at the White House, and maybe the same might happen with Trump. I don't know. But so far, it's disappointing that someone who's been so supportive of the cause to protect and retain Columbus Day isn't going to try to match his predecessor in having a gathering at the White House. So we'll keep you posted. But we'll have more news coming up and more events happening with our Italian American community. Please log on to our website at www.onlineprimo.com. I have an article about what I just talked about. I have some other articles there as well. The design of the website has changed recently, so there's more articles for you to read, and we've devoted entire pages to the articles with photographs and other things. So I think you'll find it very nice. Anyway, thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you.